Answer me this question. Not ask, but answer me this question. I have a car. I've had it for like 7 months. I don't know what half the buttons do. I bought it used. I always buy used cars. I think I'm not a new car kind of guy, but every time I put the car in reverse, the side mirrors go straight down. So you're looking like below the door. And I use my mirrors, and I look at my mirrors because I want to know what's behind me, not what's below me. Now, if you put it in the middle, like the little knob, you know the knob where if you go left, then you push the button and the mirror goes up, down, left, right. Right? If you put it in the middle, it still goes down a little bit. If you keep it on the left side, indicating the driver's side window you want to adjust, it goes straight down. You can't see a damn thing. And if you put it on the other side goes down, so you can't see a damn thing on that side. But if you keep it in the middle, both sides go down uncomfortably. And then when you put the car in drive after you reversed as far as you want to reverse, they never go back where they were when you started. What the f*** is going on here? I hate this. I hate cars. You never know when the car is on and off anymore. You're pushing buttons. Your car's beeping at you when you get out. I'm going to ask the concierge if he can help me. Hey, all that today on Cooking Something Good without sans my complaint about side view mirrors on cars. Hey, let's get going. It's Joe Rondina right now on Cooking Something Good. Hey, welcome back to Cooking Something Good, the Jones Barbecue Studio. With us today, very special person, the newest member of our team, Joe Rondina. Joe, welcome. Welcome to the family. We're so excited to have you as part of our organization now.
No, I was about to say, Dave, thank you very much for having me on with the good old family. Always a pleasure to join a group that is rocking on out. That is for sure.
Joe is going to be my co-host on a new series that we're going to call Boston Concierge. And Joe is the perfect co-host. Actually, I'm the perfect co-host because Joe knows everything there is to know about Boston when it comes to all the things you need to know, whether it's dining, theater, hotels. He's the guy. Joe, I can't wait to start this show.
Yeah, no, I mean, well, thank you very much for that good old introduction. No, it's awesome. You know, I work in the hospitality industry right now. I'm a front desk supervisor, but I'm also concierge as well. So I've definitely built up quite a few networks throughout the city, and I definitely want to share that with everyone so we can see new perspectives, especially in the hospitality field.
Yeah, and you've got a lot of experience. You went to culinary school, and from there got into and worked in lines in some pretty big establishments in the Boston area, and then decided you wanted to get into kind of the hospitality side of it. Talk a little bit about your career.
Yeah, sure. So I graduated from Johnson and Wales University in 2011, and then from there, I started my actual professional culinary career in 2012, right with Marriott, actually. So after that, worked for about 2.5 years as a kitchen supervisor. Then I moved on over to the Ritz Carlton, where I worked there as the starting cook, and then basically became like the main switch cook. I could work like any one of the stations, and working in the hotel industry, I realized that there's a lot of opportunity and a lot of different avenues to kind of grow and see. So I was like, you know what? See in the kitchen, might as well go check out the front side of things with front desk. So after that, I joined the W, and I worked at the W for 2 years as a front desk agent. And then I became the guest experience specialist, which is cross between the guest experience as well as a concierge. And I did that for 2 years. Finally, I ended up in my new gig where I'm at right now as a front desk supervisor in another hotel.
And still acting as a concierge. And that's what you love to do. Before we go any
Yes.
further, if you're going to be a regular, you're going to have to do one thing differently. You're going to have to turn your overhead fan off.
Oh. Well, so I do have a kind of funny story about that.
It's not turning off, is it?
No, unfortunately. So I practiced Japanese swordsmanship in my early years.
Yep.
When I was practicing here, I smacked that fan, and unfortunately, it does not know how to turn off anymore. So it just kind of slowly rotates.
Oh my God, it's like a water torture. We'll get it though. We'll figure something out. This isn't the actual show. The show starts in about 2 weeks. So, But we're going to be talking about
Mhm.
places people can go if they're from the Boston area, if they're driving into the Boston area, if they're flying in from out of town for for the what better word, the Boston experience. We're going to be talking with you about all the theaters and the restaurants and the places to stay and all the great things to do. You know, people from outside of Boston don't understand Boston's a walking city. You can walk Boston pretty darn easily.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Especially if you go to basically off of the Red Line, Park Street.
Hmm.
Park Street's basically the center of downtown Boston, and I'd say a majority of things you can get to at most 20 minutes walking distance, and that's in any direction that you go. So
Yeah, I mean,
you can go to.
if people are coming out from like Los Angeles, that is not a walking city. Nobody walks in Los Angeles. You can't walk in Los Angeles. You know, a lot of
True.
cities are not walking cities, and there's so much to do. Whether you're a history buff, a food buff, somebody who likes ethnic foods, we've still got a decent Chinatown. We've probably got the best in North End, and I will argue with San Francisco if you want, but I think we've got the best Italian section neighborhood of any city in the United States. It's a great town, and I think you being able to give people week after week different ideas of what they can do, whether they're from far away or whether from the air or whether they're from the area. And from the area can mean a lot of things. I mean, I'm a Sunapee, New Hampshire, Hatfield, Massachusetts person, so for me that's an hour and a half, an hour and 40 minutes, or 7 hours depending on traffic, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So that was a joke. You can smile. Don't be afraid. Yeah, and Joe's like, I would smile if it was funny. Um, but you know, you've already shown me a great restaurant, and they are last. I think they were on last week or 2 weeks ago. Harvest Restaurant, which was amazing. There's so many of those gems. Some of them hidden, some of them not hidden in the city. So it's going to be a. I think it's going to be a fun show where we can really get people to get where they want to go. Because a lot of times you visit somewhere and you've got your guidebook or you've got an idea, you know, I'm going to Buffalo, so I'm going to bring a shovel, I'm going to shovel snow. What else do you do? You know, you don't know. But in this show, we're going to help people do things while they're there and do the things they want to do at a pace they want to do it. Is that what's key to being a concierge? Understanding, I guess I'm asking a question. I'm making a statement, not asking a question. So I'll rephrase that.
Mhm.
To me, uh, a concierge should be somebody who understands what the person they're helping really wants. Because some people want to go, go, go. I want to go to this museum, that museum, and now I want to go to this restaurant. I want to try that place. And other people want to meander. I definitely want to go here. I definitely want to go there. If we make it there, it's fine. Other people, I just want to go home. You know, there's always one person in the crowd, usually grandpa. I don't want anything to do with this damn trip. I want to go home. I want to go back and watch, you know, Hollywood Squares.
No, 100%. That is exactly how it is. As a concierge, our goals are to literally read the guests. So, I mean, I'm not going to go send every single guest to like a fine dining establishment if they're looking for something more casual. Um, just as exactly, I won't tell people, hey, go on the Freedom Trail because it's a history thing to do if no one is interested in history. So, reading the guests and having that conversation with them is what makes it a lot of fun. And it also makes like a lot of dynamics. You know, you never know, like in the future, like there have been plenty of guests that have come back to the hotel just because it's like the service they had was absolutely fantastic. As a concierge, it's like our goal is to get it to like that point where, you
That's got
send
to
people
feel
to the
good
local
though.
scene.
That must feel great when they come back and and they're like and they remember your name. They're like, "Hey, Joe," and
Oh yeah.
they have to remember one person. It's impossible for you to remember every single person. But how do you must try, right? Uh, uh,
That is a great thing. I mean, I even to this day I still always try to remember at least like um I'd say probably like 3 or 4 guests on the daily that are staying at the hotel. So there's a couple ways I do it. I either associate it by um a name to like a famous like actor or a work of fiction where there's like a name that's similar that kind of just pops into my mind, or even like of my friends, it's just like like a casual name like Kevin. I'm like, oh, it's like a good old friend Kevin from my high school years. So it's funny like that.
It's got to be difficult. But in the same regard, when it comes to, because you have to not only deal with and help all these different people who are looking for things to do, you have to make all those connections throughout the city, whether it's a theater, whether it's a symphony, somebody at the symphony, whether it's restaurateurs, chefs. Uh, that's something you really need to know their name, and that's got to be tricky and a challenge.
It can definitely be tricky, that's for sure. But you know, the good thing is usually whenever I'm going to like a new establishment, business cards are always your good old best friend in regards to that.
Yeah.
Now, I was about to say they don't give you the visual aspect of it, so you definitely want to remember who it is because you don't want to be like, "Oh, hi, Michelle," and they're like, "My name is Mandy." I'll be like, "Oh,
Yeah,
whoops,"
I've done that
but
before too. Uh,
yeah, it happens. It's all good. But no, that's part of it. I mean, the entire networking with the local group too, and being able to expose them. I know you mentioned uh, like neighborhood gems and everything on else. I think that that is also what makes the concierge a lot of fun because it's like you're giving people an experience that they can only have in the city that they're in. In this case, Boston. Like I want to tailor that experience to people.
yeah, and that's true. My wife and I were in Italy in the spring, and a great little town called Monopoli, which is
Ooh,
my family is from, and we stayed at a absolutely lovely little bed and breakfasty kind of a hotel. It was magnificent and smaller. And the person at the front desk recommended a restaurant, made the reservations for us. So obviously they had a connection there, whatever's going on, which is that's
nice.
understood, right? But
Hmm.
when we got there, and my wife was cranky. When she gets hungry, she gets cranky. She's a delightful person. She's probably one of the nicest, most intelligent, thoughtful people you ever meet. But when she's hungry, she gets a little cranky. And so we're walking, and this is an old city, and there's a section of this town that is very touristy in the old city. I mean, locals still
Hmm.
go there, but we walked down side streets where suddenly there was no more people, there was no more restaurants. They were like the north end of Boston on the side streets, right? They were where
Hmm.
people lived, and she was like, "Where are we going? Whatever this place was, we found a restaurant in the middle of nowhere there that we didn't find. They sent us there, and it was
Hmm.
you could tell everybody there was a local because
Nice.
no one was speaking English. The wait staff had one person who spoke English who came in and helped us out. I have the name of the place. I'm not as well organized as you. Somewhere in this list of cards, I have the name of that place. I'm not going to look it up right now, but it was spectacular. It was
Oh,
better than any place we could have possibly gone. Are you all right?
David, you still there?
I'm still there. Did you freeze? Oh, you're frozen. I love when people freeze
One
up.
sec.
You are absolutely frozen.
Well,
You're frozen. It looks fake. It's so cool. Joe. Hey, Joe, are you
hello?
still there? I can hear you. Joe. Joe, 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 Joe. You're back.
Hey!
Oh man, you look like one of those. You know those big heads that people hold up at like sporting events and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You're frozen. You look fake like one of those big heads, like a big bald Joe. Big bald Joe. Big bald Joe. He'll tell you just where to go. It was great.
you, you know, it was funny because it's like the last thing I heard was you talking about cards and you started showing that and it's going to be like, hey, if I guess the right card of the restaurant that is, do I get like $500 off of that? But
Oh God. Somewhere in this list of cards is that restaurant, and it was. I don't know if you heard it, but the restaurant was spectacular, absolutely
yeah.
spectacular. And it's that little homegrown place. They had um, just really freshly sourced, simple Italian, Southern Italian food. It was beyond good. It's one of the best Italian meals I've ever had.
Amazing.
And
There
it's
you go.
because my point is it's because that concierge knew, uh, being born and raised in that mid-sized smaller town, where we should go. So that those are the kind of things. It's great to have a good concierge.
Oh, without a doubt. It's so much fun, and you know, there's a lot of things that you just kind of learn that like you actually wouldn't find unless it's like you really dig deep online.
Yep.
Because it's like it's just one of those things that just goes in passing.
And even then, and this is why I think this show is going to be so fun and helpful. Is
Hmm.
you go online and you look up Yelp and you look up all those other things, TripAdvisor, try whatever the heck they are, and you see these reviews. Is this someone's mother? Is this making this review? Is this someone's sister? Is this an employee? Is this someone's ex-wife? Is this someone's ex-mother-in-law? Is this someone's current mother-in-law that doesn't like her or him? You don't know who is writing this review, so you really never. eh, how do you know? But if you have a good concierge or you have a show like this, where someone like you can come on and let people know, hey, this isn't a Yelp. I've been doing this a long time in the Boston area, and I know. Let's get into a little bit what the show's going to be.
Of course.
Every week we're going to get you on, or every week or 2 weeks. We'll try to get every week if we can get there, and
Hmm.
we're going to talk about, or you're going to talk about, and I'm going to sit here and listen because I'll have very little to say in those shows. But you're going to talk about places and restaurants, and again, theaters, and all the different things people can do. When possible, we'll get guests on with us from those places to talk about how they operate, what they do, how they become so successful, and why you should go there. That'll be a big part of the show. And for me, when I travel, I wish I had a show like that in every city.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely going on into it. Like I said, I want to like let people know like whether their audience members are here local in Massachusetts or if they're traveling from what you call it internationally or
Mhm.
even if they're just traveling domestically. I want to go give them like areas that they can go to that are a lot of fun that personally I know it's going to be a good time because I've gone on in there, I've kind of talked with people and all of that. So I want to bring that side to the show and just kind of again help support the local community because that is also very, very important in my eyes too.
Yeah. And a show is going to be called Boston Concierge. You can find it here on the CSG Broadcast Network. You'll find it on anywhere you can hear a podcast. It'll be on YouTube. It's going to drop every Wednesday. We're dropping it Wednesday because I think, or I'm sorry, we're going to drop it every Monday because that
Mhm.
gives people who are going to be traveling Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, whenever they decide to travel, this will give them a couple of days to prepare uh, for the trip they're going to take, whether they're just going out for the night or whether they're going, driving into Boston for a weekend, a night, whether they're flying in for a week or 10 days. It'll give them enough time to watch a show and get an idea of the different places they want to go. And the other thing we're really hoping for, and you and I talked about this, but we're really hoping that
Yes.
it becomes interactive on all the social media platforms. We hope people reach out to us and let us know places they've tried, their own places, their own experiences. Those are the things we hope we can get because that's what makes it fun. People saying, "Hey, I went to this place that Joe recommended, and we had a great time." Or if there's any problems, I mean, we want to hear that too. We don't.
Oh yeah, of
Yeah,
course. Oh, I definitely, yeah, I want to make sure that, definitely people are able to kind of give us the feedback in regards to it. And also that, which God, we kind of keep that door open. So if there is anything, like say someone does have like an experience that wasn't up to the par with a restaurant as I know they would, we can give them that feedback too. So that way they can also improve as well.
yeah, and we can screen those too because
Mhm.
that's the other thing with the other sites. You don't who's really screening what someone writes. Someone may send into us and say the service was terrible, the people were terrible, they were rude, and then we can we'll reach out to wherever it was, whether it's a restaurant, whether it's a you know, my mic almost fell. Um, I'm going to show people someday. My mic is held up by a bottle of Manny's extra virgin olive oil. So it's a perfect setup. Everything else we tried didn't work except for his extra virgin olive oil, which really is a quality olive oil, by the way. But maybe we'll reach out and they'll say, "Hey, these people, this one guy came in and he wanted it medium rare, and he said it was kind of sort of medium rare, but it wasn't really medium rare. And then he said he wanted you know, gravy on his potato, whatever. You know, gravy on his potatoes. And then when it came, he said he didn't. Maybe someone's was a jerk, right? And we can kind of weed
Yeah,
that. We can weed that out. Or maybe somebody has a
of course.
legitimate, legitimate comment, praise, or suggestion or criticism. And if those are legitimate, we want to hear those. But we can weed them
Oh
out.
yeah,
We can weed them out. You can figure out who's full of it and who's has a legitimate, you know, suggestion more than a gripe.
exactly. And hey, criticism is always is a good thing. I think that sometimes there's like a negative connotation on that, but realistically, as long as it's like a criticism where it's something that's like someone can gain something out of, I think that that's a great thing to do for sure.
Yeah, so I think that'll be a fun part of the show, and I think it'll give people
Hmm.
a real, true idea of where they're going and what they're getting. Because in this day and age, with prices so high, you want your dining. You got to be pick and choose carefully. You want every dollar to count. You want your dining experience to be a good one. You want your experience at a playhouse to be a good one. You want wherever you're going, and who knows where you're
Oh,
going.
100%.
Now, Joe, if you did a double backflip, do you think you could reverse the effects of that fan? Uh,
I feel like the only way to reverse the effects of that fan would maybe to be to smack it on the other side and
that's
pray to
it. Give it
God
a
that
smack.
it.
You're not old enough to remember, but in the old days when your television didn't work, your father gave it a wrap upside, and it worked.
Oh,
It worked
you
every
know,
time.
I actually was in that generation, believe it or not. I might look
Uh,
quite young, but I am definitely on the older side
uh,
than you would imagine.
yeah, I mean, you do that today, and the TV falls over and breaks, and then you go spend $74 on a new one. TVs are so cheap now. TV was a
Exactly.
big investment, and you had to get both your uncles and all your aunts, well, the Italian ones anyway, to come over and help you move a new TV in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, now you hold it with one hand on the handle in this little skinny box, and you when it breaks, you just go get another one because it costs more in gas to bring it to the repair shop than to buy a new
Hey,
one.
shop. I know, right? Crazy how technology has improved for
It
that.
has changed. Hey, Joe Rondina. Joe, it is called Boston Concierge, and we can't wait. Go like this. I'm so excited. Do this. Do it.
I was about to say,
I'm so
you're supposed to
excited.
be doing jazz hands
I'm so
here.
excited.
I was
Jazz
about to
hands.
say, those
Eh,
jazz hands, man.
overtures, hit the lights. Oh, now the dogs are going crazy here. I've just set the dogs off. They're like, "What's the matter, Dave? Are you okay?" I am. Joe, I can't wait. I think we're gonna shoot for the 27th of October, so it's just about a month away.
Okay,
All right,
sounds good.
and we're excited about it, and we're gonna get you something for that fan. I'm gonna try to think about what. What can we do? Something fun. Be careful though. I mean, don't tie anything around your neck and try to stop it from going around, or don't get it hooked on the back of your shirt. So if somebody comes in and Joe's like, "Help! I've been going around for 48 hours."
I was thinking more along the lines of maybe what I should attach onto there is an emergency button on my wall and over here and just smash it, and then a disco ball will come in, and hopefully the weight of that will stop it from moving, and also it'll start playing some music to dance to.
I
I think that
know.
would work.
I think if it stopped it from moving, and I'm not a mechanical person, I think it might burn the motor out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, potato. At least it stops. As long as it doesn't turn on fire.
We don't want no fire, Bobby. No fire. Now, where are you from? You're from Quincy, right? Originally?
No, actually, believe it or not, I am a good old Jersey boy. Moved on up north, so it's kind of funny. Apparently, I've gotten a little bit of a Boston accent
I,
since I've
I've
been here for
I've
about 11
heard it a
years.
couple of times. What part of New Jersey?
Really?
Yeah, what part of New Jersey you from?
I'm from like the Morris County area, so it's like basically northern central, about an hour away from Newark,
Yeah.
and an hour away from New York City, which is great.
So Morristown, is that that area?
Yeah, like around that area, correct.
Why do they have a Morristown and a Moorestown? That's ridiculous. They've got one of them has to go.
You know what? I mean, it's so funny because the Morris Town is north and Morristown is like south. And I remember I heard only about that like recently because it's like someone was like, "Oh, it's like you're from Morristown." I'm like, "No, I'm from Morristown." They're like, "Oh, where's that?" I'm like, It's up north." I'm like, "Where are you from?" They're like, "Oh, Morristown's down south." So I was like, "Oh." I'm like, I didn't know that existed.
It's like you're in the Abbott Costello routine. Where are you from? Moorestown. Where are you from? Moorestown. Where is it up south? Where is it down north? Where are you from? Moorestown. I thought you said you're from Moorestown. I'm from Moorestown. Where are you from? Moorestown. That's what I said. It's an Abbott and Costello routine. One of them's got to go. Give the other one to Pennsylvania.
There can only be one, right?
I think
Something like
it'll be-
that.
get
was
rid
said
of
in
it.
the movie.
It's pronounced the same way. It's ridiculous. Not a big fan. They got to
Oh,
do
yeah,
away with
definitely.
one of them. But I do. But hey, I'm glad you ended up here, and I think a lot of people are too. We can't wait. Joe, we'll see you on the 27th, which I think is so 26. No, what do we say? We say a Monday, right?
Correct. On
Monday. So I
Mondays.
think we're going to be shooting the 27th, 26th, 25th, 24th. Yes.
Okay.
October 24th is when it starts. We can't wait. You can find it on the CSG Broadcast Network. You can find it on YouTube. Believe me, we are going to be telling you all about it. Joe, have a safe week, and we'll see you soon.
You as well, Dave. And like I said, it's a pleasure to be on the team and pleasure to be letting all of the good old viewers know what's fun in Boston.
It's going to be a good time. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with more of Cooking Something Good after these messages, so stick around. Hey, folks, it's time for Cooking Something Good. One of my favorite segments, Seattle to Sunapee. And, of course, Andrea Jorgensen is with us. I say, of course, but last week she was on assignment. And
a pinch hitter.
And a pinch hitter, Lexi Dussault, my niece, my marvelous niece, who I love so much, moved out there with her good friend Jake, not the guy from State Farm, but no, not the same one. And she did a great job. She's loving it out there, and she's a real foodie, so she's going to be a regular, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be a good time. Andrea, welcome. It's always good to see you. As this show is airing, and I'm going to go into my problem first, but first, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yes.
Good to see you, David.
Yes, because somebody said I talked too much in the beginning. You need to talk, and you need to lose a couple of pounds. I was like, come on, Mom, give me a break.
Oh, Mom.
Oh, Mom. So anyway, as this show's airing, we're taping a little early this week, this show earlier than usual, because as it's airing, I'm in Singapore. We're going to different restaurants. We're doing Facebook and YouTube Live. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's a long way from here. It's a 24-hour flight, which means in 8 days I'll be in the air for 48 hours. It's a lot of flying. But I am leaving Friday, which is last Friday now, right, out of Boston at 4 o'clock. And I can't find my glasses. That's a problem. And I can't find my backup glasses. And I can't read without my glasses. And
Did the dog hide them because she doesn't want you to go?
Maybe. But the dog's up at her friend's house. She has these 2 dog friends and these family, very nice family that takes care of her. Whenever we go, they volunteer. And the dog always comes back and she's like depressed when she gets back. Because they make her food. They make her like brown rice with chicken, and I'm like,
whoa.
No wonder I put the kibble in a bowl and the dog won't eat. But I have like 5 books because it's a long flight, so I've got 5 books that I'm going to try to get through during this trip. I can't. Did you ever see?
You can't read them.
You wouldn't have seen that episode of The Twilight Zone. Meredith, what's his name? Baxter. Anyway, famous actor was in it, and he loved to read. He worked at a bank back in the 50s, and they wouldn't let him read. That's all he ever wanted to do is read. His wife harassed him, and then a nuclear explosion that happened. The big one happened, and he was in the vault when it happened, but he was really happy because even though everything was gone, the library's books were still somehow didn't burn up. Everything else burned up. The concrete burned up, but the library books didn't.
Still on the shelves.
Yeah, which is amazing. Not on the shelf, but they were okay.
Oh, interesting.
Right? And he was happy because now he could read his books. But then he dropped
and nobody would bother him, right? They were all
but
dead.
When he leaned over, his glasses fell over, and when he went to walk for them, he crushed them, and they were really thick, so he couldn't read. It was like the worst story ever. Yeah,
he's stuck.
He's stuck, and that's how I feel now because I've got a big stack of books because I'm 48 hours worth of flying, and 4 days there.
You don't have any cheaters?
I don't know. I can't find
what are the glasses
I
you
can't
can
find
get
my cheaters either. So I'm gonna go
down.
No,
like what? You know what I'm talking about? Like you can go to like.
Yeah, I'm gonna go and see if they work. Right. Anyway, we're not going anywhere with this. What's going on in Seattle? What's happening right now?
So we are in. Believe it or not, it has been mid to high 70s, low 80s for the last 3 weeks, which is like crazy for Seattle.
Yeah.
Usually we are like, I don't know, 3 weeks into our rainy season at this point.
Yeah.
So it's been cold in the morning, like it's been 42 degrees when I drop my oldest off at the bus stop in the morning. And then it heats up to 75, 80 during the day, and then back down to cooler at night. So like that part of it reminds me of New England, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we should be in our rainy season right now. The problem is that we have a ton of smoke outside. Like, I got a text message from my son's school district this morning that they weren't doing outdoor recess or outdoor sports because the air quality is so bad.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that they have forest fires right now in Oregon and Idaho. Is that right?
Yeah, and that's where it's
See,
coming from.
I'm up
We
to
even
date.
had
I'm
family
up to date
pictures.
with what's going on in the world.
Yeah,
I keep up to date.
Yep.
Amazing, huh?
We even did family pictures over the weekend up in North Bend, like Snoqualmie Ridge area. And you could like see the smoke from coming from one of the fires. That was pretty close. So, yeah, we're just pretty much hoping for rain at this point. So Friday is supposed to rain a little bit, and then all into next week. So a lot of us are like, finally,
Take a break.
like,
And
a lot of people dread the rainy season, but it's fine.
I bet you I would love living out there because I love rainy days. It's one of my favorite things.
It's not like rain, like New England rain, where it like downpours and like stuff like that. It's like
Misty.
It spits for the most part. You may get, it rains intermittently from like October to May, sometimes June, but it's like you're still getting 2 or 3 hours of sunshine a day.
Yeah.
So it's not like horrible, and it's not like really bad. The thing that I hate though is that we don't get the smell of rain because we don't get the two fronts coming through. Like I've lived here, 6 years, and I think we've had 4 thunderstorms.
Wow. And I like a good thunderstorm too.
I love being
excited.
Every time there's one in the forecast, I was like, please, please, please.
I know. I do love it. What's growing right now?
Actually, because of such the extended season, there's a lot of stuff that we still have, which is crazy. There's a farm that I usually go to. Most of the farmers markets are done by now, but there's a farm that I usually go to that still has raspberries. And so you can drop by the local farmers market and still get raspberries and stuff. But, normal crops, apples, squashes, stuff like that. The thing we're going to talk about today is because we're getting into all of the fall ingredients.
Yeah.
And you have your mainstays, like your squashes and your apples and stuff. But, I think one of the most underrated ingredients is sage. And it's the backbone of so many fall recipes, and especially like Thanksgiving and stuff like that. Like, it ends up in your stuffing, it ends up in your rub for your turkey, it ends up in all that sort of thing. And I love it. It's like one of my most favorite herbs for fall.
I love sage.
You can fry it up crispy and like serve it with pasta dishes and stuff like that. Like, it's great. And as a kid, I was like, oh, this leaf is fuzzy. Like, this is kind of weird.
It's one of my favorites.
That, but like, yeah, it's one of my favorites, that and rosemary, but I think sage for the most part, it's good with like all of your poultry. It's really great with pork too, and like I said, it's like a focus of Thanksgiving dishes.
Yeah, I make a rolled pork with sage, currants, and fig. Sage is one of my favorites. Like you said, turkey. There's so many things you can do with it. It just gives that.
I had some butternut squash
currants.
raviolis the other day.
I put currants in there.
Oh, you put currants in there, yeah. I did some butternut squash ravioli the other day and did it in like some olive oil and fried up the sage in the olive oil and then served that with it. It was a little bit of crispy prosciutto.
That's
and stuff
a great
like that.
idea.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah, I do a ton of sage in my like stuffing at Thanksgiving and like
I put sage in
and
my
it's just
stuffing
like
too,
everything.
yeah.
You do a compound butter, you brush it on your rolls after they come out of the oven. Oh, it's in everything.
It's one of my favorites. It really is. And I love Thanksgiving anyway. I love cooking for Thanksgiving. I would love to cook for 1,000 people on Thanksgiving. I love making turkeys. You know why? Because so many people screw turkeys up. It's a delicate. It's a delicate bird.
You overcook it.
It dries out easily.
Dry. Yeah. Yeah, or you don't, God forbid, you don't let it thaw enough, and then, the inside is not cooked, and the outside is, like, take it out, you're like, oh, look, it looks perfect, and then you're like, oh, this is half frozen in the middle still.
Yeah. And you got to dry it really well, wash it, you have to dry it really well with a paper towel, get some salt on there, or you get the moisture in there, and that's when it gets, and it's not crispy, it's not crispy, it's kind of watery, but the turkey itself is dry, so you got like this, not water, but a mushy kind of skin, and then a really dry turkey anyway. You can't go wrong. I have my secret for my turkey. I take butter, garlic, sage, soft butter, olive oil, squeeze some lemon, salt, and pepper, make it into a ball, and then I just break the skin and I put it underneath the skin. Yep. Hold it down and I bump, and then I put it on top too, and then a little olive oil, a little salt on top of that. Put bacon strips, smoky bacon over it. Cook it for like 20 minutes at a really high temperature. And then I'll drop the temperature down and I'll cook it forever. And I'll cook it for how long you have to cook whatever size turkey.
Right.
The other secret is my this was my grandmother would always say this. She would say, "You've got to let it rest as long as you
Yes.
cooked it."
So important.
And now I hear all these.
Which works out because you got to throw everything else in the oven anyway.
Yeah. And you have hot gravy. Anyway, it's I'm excited about Singapore too because
That's
I'm
gonna
going
be
to learn a
awesome.
lot of new recipes. My friend has been there for 23 years. He has friends who are chefs and restaurant owners. So, I've during COVID, I really started to get into some more Asian cooking, which I never did a lot of, and I enjoy now. His longtime girlfriend is from Vietnam, so there's a big learning curve. So I'm really excited about that, and I'll bring those back and share them with you. A lot of those I'm sure you already know because you're trained. I'm not. I'm not
That's
trained.
That's
Ask my wife. She'll tell you. I'm not.
I mean, just fine trained, right?
Yeah, defined it for me.
Now, are you still doing the loop through Europe then too? You're not.
Coming
Okay.
home.
Because weren't you going to go back to Italy and then you're going to head up to Britain and okay,
Coming
you're just
home.
going to Singapore?
San Francisco, Singapore, 6 hours 45 minutes. San Francisco, Boston to San Francisco, 6 hours
Oh,
and
okay.
45 minutes. And San Francisco to Singapore, 16 hours and 45 minutes. And I have ADHD. I mean, I feel bad for the people who I don't even know yet who are going to be in that plane with me. Because I'm going to be like, "Hi, my name's Dave." By the way,
You need to be like one of those people that like passes out cards. Like, this is my child's first flight. Here are some earplugs. Here's a snack. Stuff like that. You'd be like, "Hi, my name is David." Like, this is all my caveats.
this is all the things you need to know. Thank God I found my glasses. I'd be like, "So, ma'am, how long have you been interested in going?" "I'm a man. I'm 5. I'm.
Oh yes, I can see.
Now I can see Mr. Magoo." I'll be like, "Ooh, holy cow." Anyway, it's going to be a great trip. I can't wait. I can't wait to get back on the air with you. We'll be back on next week. Yeah,
Okay.
we'll be back on next week.
I
So-
talked to Joe yesterday, so he's very excited.
He's doing a great job. He is amazing. I have never met anyone in my life that can meet people. We're talking about Rondina.
The Rondina.
Joe Rondina, who has a new show, and he's actually on this episode today. He's an old friend of Andrea. That's how I met him. So he's actually the other piece to this show today.
Oh, awesome.
Yes, and Joe and Andrea are very good friends. He's a nice guy. I tell you what, he really likes people. He likes helping
good.
people. He's
Yes.
like you. He's a trained chef, right? He
Yeah.
he has a culinary degree, and he's just delightful to be around. I think his show's going to be great. I love having him on right now, and I love the fact that he's constantly calling me. I got this person. I got this person. I got this person. I mean, he knows everybody. And Boston
Yeah, he
Concierge, I think, is going to be a great show. I'm excited about it.
It's gonna be awesome.
Andrea
Yeah.
Jorgensen, thank you for joining us, my friend. We will see you when I get back from Singapore.
Have a fantastic trip, David. Can't wait to hear about it.
I will. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back right after this. Hey, thanks for joining us on Cooking Something Good today. We had a great show. This guy, Joe Rondina, he's got his own show coming to the CSG Broadcast Network in 2023, early in 2023. And I think it's a show you're going to like, especially if you plan on getting into the Boston area. It's called Boston Concierge, and we got to talk to him a little bit today. Joe's the kind of guy, and I've got to know him over the last couple of months. He's a young man compared to me. He really loves the hospitality industry. He is a trained chef, went to culinary art school, has worked as a sous chef in some of the finest restaurants in the Boston area. And now he has fallen in love with the hospitality industry. He loves everything food, and he loves everything to do with helping people. He's just a very nice guy. A lot of connections. He makes a lot of friends very quickly. I think you're going to like his show, Boston Concierge. You're going to find it right here at the CSG Broadcast Network, as I mentioned, coming in 2023. And that's it. Show's over. Remember, this week we're going to have a lot of live shots. I'm going to be in Singapore. So we're going to be going to a bunch of restaurants. We've got a bunch of live Facebook and YouTube stuff set up. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. I'm going to spend 47 hours total on planes in the next 9 days. So it's going to be a lot of traveling, but for me, it's going to be a trip of a lifetime, and we can't wait to bring it to you. That is all during this week as you're watching the show now. What is that that I do? I don't want any trouble here. I just want to mind my own business. I'll make a good old man. What the hell is this? Who put that? I didn't want hot sauce. It gives me gas. I'm going to be a good old man. Hey, that's it. Cooking Something Good is ready to say goodbye. Remember, food is fun. Food is fun twice. Remember, food is fun, fun is food, and it's always foodie fun time here at Cooking Something Good. Until I get back to the United States of America, I hope everybody has a great week, and stay healthy, stay safe, and stay full. I'll see you next time. Bye.